All right, I'm recording, so if anybody wants to shut off if your videos are open, you may want to shut them off. It'll just be a black screen if your video is off. Perfect. Hello, everyone. It feels like we haven't done this forever, as I took I guess a week off, so it was like 2 week break. Um, yeah, I just think it was a long month last time. Okay, 1 second here. I forgot my volume was really low, so let me know if you can hear me now. All right. Hello from New Jersey. My bro's on. I haven't seen my brother in a very long time because the borders are crossed. I've missed my vacation for 2 years in a row now. Okay, well, you know what? Thank goodness for video chats and things like that. All right, everyone. So it's been a while since we had one. There's a lot of crazy energies out there. I'm not sure if everyone's feeling it, but wow, we had the Lionsgate portal, but it was crazy before then. I don't think we've had a break energetically. It's been like this. I'd say a lot of it's been a lot of fun, and a lot of it's been a lot of like a bit too much. But what I'm hearing from a lot of people, I have a lot of questions that came in, so I may start with the questions. Some of them are kind of different questions, some might be controversial. So just know when we do these calls, the main part of the call is the healing part. So I do about a 25-minute healing, which we'll come to. I like to end the call like that because if you're in a nice Zen state, I don't really talk too much afterwards, which is a lie. I talk a lot afterwards, but it's not, you don't have to stay on for it. So once I do the healing, I generally will bring out my singing bowl, which will make a vibrational noise to just kind of break up any last minute negative energy. At that point, if you're in that nice Zen state and you want to stay there, then just hang up. Like, no need to say bye. Whenever I attend calls like this, I always stay in meditation, and I don't even hang up. I wake up like 3 hours later and I'm on the call, but the call is now off. So that's okay as well. But I will talk. So if that's irritating, just shut it down. When we do the healing part, I play music that I love. I've been playing this music for, geez, over 2 years. I get told by my kids I should really change it. I've tried changing it. It just doesn't work. I don't know what it is. These songs just put me in my zone, so I'm going to keep it. If my music bothers you, just shut it off. You don't have to hear anything. I'm just sending energy. I am talking to myself. I usually whisper. I'm not really talking to myself. I'm talking to my guides. You don't have to hear what I'm saying because I'm actually trying for you not to hear it. But I sometimes mumble. And I don't want to disturb you. So what else? So thank you for joining the call. It's been a while. I kind of miss it too. I feel I have to do at least one healing a day on someone else, or at least a really long meditation. I need something to keep me in that Zen space. And there was a day recently where I had just such a busy day. I didn't get that downtime. Oh my gosh, I was like kind of a mess. I'm very sensitive to the energy. So thank you for loving my music. I got some comments there. Yay. I love my music too, but it's not for everyone. I get that. So anything I talk about are things from my experiences. 12 years going from being what I would call broken and a mess to not such a mess nowadays, although my kids will probably beg to differ. And, I'm getting better every day. And I always feel there's room for growth for everybody and everything. So lately, I've been changing at lightning speed. So I'm not the same person I was even 3 days ago. And I'm having a hard time because it's hard. The change is happening so fast now that I have to stop and like catch my breath. It's like I want to hold on to something sturdy because the amount of changes in the way I'm thinking is like it's becoming more unlimited, the things I'm seeing. But then I can drop down to 3D thinking as well. When someone engages me in those conversations that pull me out of my Zen state, it's like they're kind of triggering me. So I've been getting a lot of challenges coming across, which I find very interesting. As we start, we're going through the ascension process, which is such a beautiful process, but very uncomfortable for all of us. Some of us don't know about it. Some of us might not ever know about it. But regardless, Earth is going through the ascension process and we're going with it. Now, Everyone might have a different perception of what that means. I'm just giving you what I'm feeling and what I feel the ascension process is. I feel it is a gradual thing, that is a gradual process that is happening to all of us individually. So our souls came here with a purpose. Any of you that are listening, most of you, I'm going to guess, are either light workers, old souls. Something has woken up inside you to say there's something more to this life than what it is. A lot of people who are introduced to me either run the other way or they're drawn to it because something resonates with them. So generally, any clients that come see me are ready for big change, because that's what this work does. So as we're going through this process, what's happening, in essence, is how I see it, is we all hold darkness in us. There's dark consciousness has been on Earth for thousands of years. It is now leaving the planet, but it's a gradual leaving. Our 3D bodies carry darkness and light. And how much of that, what's the ratio, that really depends on us, on where we've been, on what we've done, on our karmic load, all that stuff, our past lives, what we're doing in this life, what we're clearing. The beautiful thing is, with the ascension process and the change of the energy, is we are allowed to let go of karmic loops. We're allowed to get rid of this darkness faster than ever before. So it took me 12 years to get where I am. It will not take people 12 years to go through what I got through, because we have this new light on Earth. I call it master light, because that's what it sounds like to me when I feel it. That's what comes to me. This light is so powerful. Whereas back in the day when I did healings, I would have to really put up sacred space, put us in protection bubbles to make sure any dark intrusion was not there, because I want to make it very safe for me and my client. I keep getting told we no longer have to do that. Now, they say it's okay that I do it because it's kind of our habit, but I'm told we no longer have to do it. And I do trust it. I do that for myself. So now if I'm doing a clearing on myself, I don't need to clear, because as we release darkness and allow more light to come in, we're anchoring more light. Our light is so much more powerful than it was before. So if I'm sitting in a room that's very dark, and recently I've gone into a very, very dark house, it was crawling with entities everywhere. I could feel them, I hear them, the things they're saying to me, it's like they wanted me out of their space. But I was just visiting for a very short time. I went in, I did put a protection bubble in because I felt comfortable doing that. And all I did was sit there in the presence of some people, chatted with them, and I just asked for Source to just allow light to flow through me. What happened, and there's a few people in the room that could see the dark entities, they saw them just dissipate and dissolve. So when I left their place, they said it was so much clearer. I didn't do a saging. I didn't do all those things I used to have to do to clear out dark energy. The presence and just the intention of filling the room with light dissolved them. Really neat. I also had a client recently come in, and a lot of clients will say they feel the energy in my home as very light. Because of the work I do, there's lots of light coming through my home. But I also have clients that can see the dark things. And I have kids that are very in tune to them as well. And they'll always say, your house is so clear, you don't have any. But in their house, they have so many. But after we do this clearing today, what we're going to do is we're going to send this beautiful energy out to every one of you, anyone in your family, also a clearing to your house. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about that we have darkness. Darkness right now is crawling everywhere. It's probably the toughest time to be alive at this time, because the dark is leaving the planet. They don't want to go, but they know they're going. The more fear they generate, the more worry and all that gross feelings, sadness, depression, shame, embarrassment, the more they can do that to people, the longer they stay around on Earth, because they feed off that energy. So if I'm in a room and there's a dark entity there, back in the day, I would have fear, what happens is my fear makes it grow. So I'm going to give an example of, if anyone's ever seen those Catholic exorcism when the priest yelling at the entities and they get bigger, it's because they're showing aggression to them. So not a bad way to get rid of them. They eventually do leave. But if you just shine light and show no fear, they can't get bigger. And actually, they actually lose their power and kind of disintegrate. So I've learned that the hard way, and that's how I work. I just shine light on anything and everything. The light is so strong now, there is nothing that can bypass it. So always know you are protected. If you're ever feeling fear or worry or arguing with family because you're in disagreement about something, take a few deep breaths and allow that light to really penetrate deep, and just, you'll see the conversation will switch. The arguing about what you should do and what you shouldn't do, the dark forces love that. They love us fighting about, I'm going to be a little controversial here because I get so many questions about it. People arguing about, you're not vaccinated, you're double vaccinated, you're this, you're that, you're not vaccinated, you're not wearing a mask, you're wearing a mask, you're doing this to your children, you're not doing this. All those things are to tear apart humanity. So people will be upset. Who goes to bed upset after a fight? We all do. Who wants to feel that way? Nobody. But the dark forces love it. And we're giving away our power to them. And we're extending this longer. But if you can go within, know you're connected to light, and just be compassionate, non-judgmental, and show kindness to everyone. You're kind of living from a 3D perspective. You are not feeding that darkness. One person in alignment in that flow of light is so much stronger than 1,000 people who aren't. It's very easy to be drawn into those conversations because you might believe that it's not safe if someone's not vaccinated. I've had people that are telling, like, their parents want them to get vaccinated, or their friends want them to get vaccinated, or their work wants them to get vaccinated, but they don't want to. The answer really lies within. And then the opposite, someone who's not vaccinated doesn't want someone to get vaccinated. So if you're on a stance and you're like, oh my gosh, if someone doesn't do this, I'm going to be worried for them and this and that, and I'm going to lose sleep over it. Well, that's what the dark forces want us to do. It wants us to divide, polarize, argue, go to bed upset, because we are feeding them. Do not let them win. Go within there and send love and compassion and just say, hey, I love being with you guys. I may not be vaccinated. You guys might be. Who cares? We're all doing what we want, but why can't we just be together, enjoy each other's company? Because I love you. And just avoid the topics that trigger us. It's simple. It really is, but I can be drawn in. And actually, sometimes when I hear someone's done something, whatever, sometimes I kind of go 3D. I'm like, oh my God, why that happened? I actually even have some tears sometimes. I'm thinking, okay, why am I getting upset over someone following what they wanted to do? I have no right to be judgmental. I'm just going to show compassion, say, hey, listen, who cares what I think? My position, I don't control your life. Everyone has their own guides, their own right things to do. So just follow your heart, but just do things from your heart, not from pressure, not from being told you have to. And when you do things from the heart, there's nothing that's going to go wrong because you're following your heart. If anyone's interested, I did do a talk on the vaccination because I did get a lot of questions. My friend doesn't want to get vaccinated. It's upsetting me. I don't want to be friends with her anymore. I have children who want me to get vaccinated, but I don't want to, and the vice versa. Parents wanting to vaccinate their children and the children aren't, and they're getting upset that way. But this, the topic I did a while ago, I did have a presentation, and it shows you how you can use affirmations to kind of feel more powerful in helping whoever, based on any scenario you're in. Some people have gotten the vaccination and then they call me in panic saying, oh my God, this is going to happen to me. No. I don't believe that. I know there are some people who disagree with me, thinking one way or another. I don't think there's a solid line. I believe if you're following your heart and you're doing what's best for you, then how can that be wrong? So if anybody wants that, I am not going to send it out as a general thing on the, but if anybody wants it, just send me an email saying, hey, I want that vaccination PowerPoint. It'll kind of calm you down, make you feel better. Another question I had was, we are in the midst of changing our spiritual DNA. The most beautiful things are happening. There's so many of us that have these natural gifts, but they're on our spiritual DNA. And now they're starting to be activated. Past live information is starting to come down as downloads as well. Now, someone asked, can we speed up this process? Your soul, your higher self knows you the best. It's going to put you on a path that you can handle. For instance, me, 12 years, and oh my gosh, it was very slow and gradual for me, but that's what I needed. That's how I needed to cope. I needed to still be a mom. I needed to function. I needed to do what I needed to do. I needed that really gradual journey. I did some quantum leaps along the way, but I always found that I ended up being knocked out and it was tough for me. So I was more gradual. Where you have the power to accelerate is you can give permission to your guides, to source, to the creator, to beings of light, whatever you want to call it. It's all coming from the same loving place, and say, I would like a quantum leap. I want to move ahead as fast as possible. I'm ready. Now, the thing is, be careful when you say that, because if your soul, higher self, believes that you can handle it, they will give it to you. And what can happen is there's such huge changes. Your vibration really goes up. So much darkness leaves. It's like taking, I don't know, maybe 3-4 energy sessions in one and just getting rid of a bunch of darkness. But what happens is your 3D body now has to catch up to your new vibration. In that alignment, that catch up, what happens is you can be very tired, very thirsty. You can break out with rashes. You can have lots of diarrhea and vomiting, because that's the purging of the darkness and it's all this stuff. But once you level out from that, and it can take anywhere from a few days, a few weeks to a month, depending on, we're all very different, you'll feel a lot later and say, wow. But every time I do a quantum leap, I used to regret it while I was going through that really uncomfortable time, but I felt fabulous at the end of it. So then I would make a vow to myself, I will never do that again. 6 months later, I asked for another one. And I go through the same crap. And I was like, wow, lovely, why'd I do that? But I am a bit addicted to feeling, I like, once I get to a new vibration, I get really used to it and it becomes my norm. So I don't feel any different. So I really love that moving up and then having that level and then staying in that. It's like a new buzz for a while. So I may not be addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything like that, but I am addicted to energy healing, because that feeling of feeling lighter just feels so good. Although it might be a bit of a crazy vibe or ride along the way. So that's your personal, that's what you can do for yourself. I had never, I'm just trying to look here. I never, ever ask on behalf of my clients for a quantum leap. That's their personal choice to do so. What I do when I work with my clients, and what I'm doing as well with today, is I create a healing space. It is powerful energy that comes through. But what happens with it, it's available. Your higher self is in control on how much you can take, how much you're going to use, how much you're going to purge. Also, when we send out this energy to your family members, it's just made available. It's like sending a prayer. We're not forcing the energy to do anything. It's available. If their higher self is ready to take it, if they can, they might take a lot, take a little. That's totally up to them. Pets as well, we send it out to any pets, and then we'll clear the house. Generally, the house is cleared pretty easily because we're clearing dark energy, and I feel like the light has no problem doing that. Again, I'm not forcing it. I always leave it up to the light to decide what's best in the highest good of everyone who's working with. So this way, everyone can get the healing that they deserve, they can handle, and that they're going to benefit from. The last thing we want are people to go off feeling like totally exhausted. The intent of this is to get rid of as much darkness as possible. When I say darkness, I know some people kind of get scared. It's dense energy, it's interference, it's also belief systems that aren't yours. Because when we're children, we're learning belief systems from everywhere and everything. It's the bombardment of the news, The fear-based stuff coming in from everywhere and anything. Like I can't even listen to the radio right now because I'm trying to listen to a song. All of a sudden they're, all these commercials about COVID. And I just have to say, access denied, permission denied, shut it off. I listen to my own playlist. I watch TV with only what I want to watch. I do not let the media come through. If I need, I will put it on to kind of get highlights, and I just shut it off. I don't let it replay and things, but that's how I protect my field. Because when you're going to get today is a nice clearing of your field, why not keep it clear and be a little more, not specific, particular maybe, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but allow what's coming in your field based on what you want to, not just allowing to be bombarded by the environment. We get enough bombarded by things we can't see. We don't need it from things in our 3D world where we can actually stop. So when we clear out your field, you're going to feel a lot lighter. I usually put up something called a protection bubble when I go to the supermarket because I don't need people's negativity trying to creep in. I just kind of block that out. I'm not trying to keep my bubble of love and light to myself. What I do is I ask Source to bring in the light and send it to anyone around me. That's all right. I'm cool with that. They can't steal my energy. It's being given, but I don't want their negativity coming in and interfering with mine because that just causes me to feel anxious. And I don't want anyone's anxiousness. I quite like being in my bubble. But what I do notice as well is because we're in such a strange time, it's a very uncomfortable time. When I'm feeling extra great, that is when the world around me starts to fall apart. And like a family member is not well, this one's moody, this one says something not nice to me. That is just them being aggravated to aggravate me to lower my vibration. And they're not meaning to do it. Sometimes we're living in a family. I get this a lot of people saying, I live in a family of very negative people. What can I do? Well, can you move out? And the answer is no. Okay, well then you really have to stay connected in your light. And when you're in the midst of those people, which are your family, love them just the way they are, and just kind of put up that bubble where their negativity can't come through. And if they're saying something directly to you because they're agitated, in your head, you can say something like access denied, permission denied, I am protected by light. Don't say it out loud, and don't do this because you're going to irritate them. So there's a lot of people being what happens is when you start to do energy work, your vibration goes up quite high. If you're in a family of lower vibrating people, your high vibration actually irritates them because you're vibrating very differently and it triggers them. So they will come at you to lower your vibration. So you're one of them. And it's kind of like, I'm just making that very simplistic. But the cool thing is use them as practice. That's teaching you how to stay in your light no matter what's going around you. One of the hardest things that I had to deal with is how do I stay happy when people are crying or I see something in the news of people suffering? Well, what I was taught, and I learned a lot from Mother Teresa, who was able to help millions. She always said, stay in compassion. Because when you are in compassion, you are staying in a high vibration. You are sending out love and light, but you're not affected by people's emotions. They want you to come down to their level. And I used to. I would be high vibrating. I would go down. I'd cry with a friend. Well, what that did is made me useless to anyone. What I've learned is it's now I sound or feel discompassionate to some people because here they are crying and I'm up here all happy saying, okay, here's the light. Come to me. Come to me. I'm not coming down. Come to me. Come to me. And sometimes they get very frustrated and they will walk away and sulk and say, I'm cold or I'm not loving them. It's not true. I'm actually loving them so much that I am sending so much love to them to help them up instead of me decreasing. So if I hear something happening across the world and people are suffering, if I watch it in a place of where I don't have my protection, I'm not being conscious, I will drop and feel their suffering, and now I'm useless. Whereas if I'll get the information, yeah, they're suffering and it's awful, I'm going to stay up here and I'm going to send that part of the world so much love. And they may not feel it directly, it may not change their life suddenly, but it is working. So that's where we have the power to be the lighthouse for those who can't. And that's what light workers are here for. It doesn't matter if you're doing healing work. It doesn't matter if you work a corporate job or whatever you do, or you're a stay-home mom. Anything you do is your mission. Your soul mission is to hold and anchor the light for those who can't. And we know those ones who can't, the ones that are angry and frustrated and don't understand what the heck's going on. And they just got so much anger in them. Those are the ones that are still lost. They haven't opened up. They haven't had their awakening. But by staying and being that lighthouse for them, it is slowly chipping away at their resistance and darkness and dense energy. So they may open up, but it's up to their soul's journey as to when. We can't force it on anyone. We can't say, wake up, look what you're doing. I know a lot of us that get very excited about energy work and changing and spiritual work. We want to tell the world and shake them. They will actually push the other way and actually go further away from healings than come to it. So gauge the person you're speaking with. If they are open like you, then have those fantastic, stimulating conversations about how to keep your vibration up and all that fantastic stuff. But when you're dealing with people that are closed and not ready, the less you say, the better. But just send that love through your heart and just listen to them. And if they're off, just send them love and be that lighthouse. Don't let them bring your vibration down. Oh, I also had someone saying that their vibration's been so high, but lately they can't stop drinking alcohol, which is lowering their vibration. Yeah, I used to be a big drinker, so I did love the drink for sure. I drink very little now, if any. But what I do find is if you drink a lot, you do lower your vibration for whatever reason. So be I don't know, be particular on what you're going to bring into your body. I'm not saying don't, like I would never tell clients not to do anything. But when they say they can't stop drinking, well, you have a problem or it's bothering you, then maybe don't drink so much or don't hang out with the people who make you feel pressured to drink. And that's hard too, because then our friends change. And then when our friends change, that's hurtful because we feel like we're being left out. So if we're not in what they're doing, they might think we're boring or we're weird or whatever. But that's also part of your growth, to be weird and be okay with it. And that takes time. My kids still say I'm weird and it doesn't hurt, but I don't love it. If they're watching, maybe they'll hear this, but they tease me. And the last few weeks, they've been telling me I'm even weirder. I don't notice it, but I guess they're watching me from the outside, so maybe I am. But again, I'm comfortable with it, and I know they love me, so I just deal with it. But there are some of my friends that we don't resonate the same anymore, and it's not that we fought; we just kind of don't talk anymore, and that's okay. Because I always send everyone love, and I wish them well, and that's all right. So as you start this spiritual journey, you are going to have shifts, but in the long term, they're beautiful. My journey for the last 12 years has been up and down, up and down. It's been crazy, a lot of crying, a lot of shedding, a lot of letting those feelings go. And as these feelings come up, do not ignore them, acknowledge them, and then let them go. A lot of us have repressed all these hurts and bad things that happen to us, and we put them aside. I need to go to work. I need to deal with life. We don't deal with them. They stay in our field. And then the unease causes us to feel not well. What you want to do as you start to heal, these emotions are going to bubble up. Sadness, frustration, anger. Just let them bubble up. Sometimes it's only a 5-minute thing and say, okay, you know what? I'm feeling really angry right now. I don't know exactly what it's about, but I have an idea. And then what I usually do is I say, ask for the light or Archangel Michael, please take away this feeling. I acknowledge it, but now it's time to let it go. It no longer serves me. We'll replace it with love and light, and they'll get rid of it and I'll feel good again. So there are those downs, there's the ups, there's the downs, there's the ups, but just acknowledge them, let them go. It's part of the healing process. Not the most comfortable thing, but it's there. Okay, I've talked a lot. If anyone has any last minute questions, you can send it in the chat box right now. I think I've gone through, I hope, all the questions that I got in a mixed bag. They were somehow answered in there. I'm going to say yes, I think it did. And if I didn't, reach out to me and say, hey, you didn't answer my question, and I'll send you a personal message on your question to the best of my ability. Remember, these are just my perceptions. My perceptions are my truths, not necessarily your truths. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. If it resonates and feels good in your heart, then you're probably thinking the same way. And if it doesn't, then just say, hey, Brenda thought this, I'm putting in here, doesn't apply to me. All right. All right, everyone. So we're going to get ready to the healing. There's no questions. I am going to drink a lot of water. I'm very thirsty. Oh, the other day I was doing like the right hand with water. You put your left hand over it and say, I honor the space in which you exist. And you just wait there and the energy flows in the water. This is I've been doing this more and more often because I really find it really changes the energy of the water, gets rid of any impurities, fills it with love and light. Anyone can do this. We're all connected. Everything is by intention. And then you drink the water and intentionally you ask it to go wherever it's needed. And if you're sensitive, you can actually feel the water going where you need it the most, which is quite lovely. As we do the healing today, you can keep your eyes open or closed, lay down, sit down. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. The energy is going to come your way. And it's going to do whatever you need to do. Well, it needs to do. It's going to heal at a physical level, emotional, and spiritual level. So just whatever's ready to go is what's going to happen. So we're going to start in just a minute. I'm going to turn off my heater because I'm dying of heat right now. Just give me a sec before we start. Okay, I can just letting the energy flow into that. There we go. I'm just going to drink my water. There we go. All right, nice. Okay, so everyone, I'm gonna put on my music. And so just so you guys know, the next session is gonna be next Tuesday at 8:30. I apologize for changing it from Mondays to Tuesdays. It's just helping out with my personal schedule. I'm not sure how long I'll keep it for Tuesdays. I am gonna try to do a daytime one because I've been having some requests and maybe it might be on a weekend. So I do these free calls 3 times a month. Anyone can join. There's no limit to how many you can join. Just show up. If you register but don't show, you're still on the email welcoming you. And I'm now recording these, and you can always replay it. The neat thing with the replay is the healing works at the time of replay. And if you are here live and do it again, it'll work again to get the next layer out. It's because we're dealing with the quantum field. There's really no time and space. This energy knows who's going to watch the replay, who's going to watch it later. It's quite beautiful the way it works. So feel free to watch the replay if you can't make it or you want to watch it again. All right, everyone, I'm going to put on the music. Once the music's in, you're not going to hear my voice that well. Not a problem. I have really nothing more to say until afterwards. And I'm just going to see if I can do something here. Oh, I did. Okay, one more thing. Just actually, okay, here it goes. I'm going to start here with the music. I'm going to send it from my computer so it's louder. Again, if you don't like my music, just shut it off. It's not a problem at all. You don't need to hear it. Computer audio. Okay, if somebody, once I hit share, if someone can say the music sounds good, if it's too loud, I'll adjust, all right? I'm gonna share right now. Okay, thank you. right, everyone. Before I start talking, I'm going to use the singing bowl, which is just going to push out all the last minute negative energy that needs to leave. Just be a sec here. Even if it's not super clear, it's doing it by intention. Okay, that's wow. So, I'm still a little bit dizzy from that. I am, oh, someone asked who's in the tent. My daughter. She likes me to lay down with her at bedtime, and she was so tired. So instead of putting to bed late, I made her a deal, said if I put up the tent, you can just listen to me talk and I'll put you to sleep. And I think she was out cold enough, very halfway through the talk. So she's sleeping quite peacefully. I'll have to carry her to bed after. Luckily, she's very petite, so I can do that. All right, so that was really lovely. So there's this energy on Earth, like I keep saying, there's always an energy, new energy. There's something happening. So we had the Lionsgate portal on August 8th, which was really beautiful. Um, um, the energies, like I didn't have any downtime. You're supposed to take nice downtime that day and write things you want to purge, whatever, all that good stuff. I kind of did it really late at night because I had a really busy day, and I fell asleep beautiful, and then I woke up at 4 in the morning with so much information in my head, and I've been working on this project, and suddenly everything that I was stuck on was ready to go. So I woke up, got dressed, 4 in the morning in the kitchen on my computer, and what would have taken me probably 4 days of work, I finished in 3.5 hours. And when I presented it to a bunch of people, they were blown away. The work wasn't mine, it came through a very beautiful inspiration. Wow. So sometimes it's just best to surrender and just let the information come instead of trying to ponder something. Okay, how should I do it? How should I do it? Just surrender it. Because when you surrender it, you're tapping into magnificence and it just flows through. So I don't know if that was the Lionsgate portal energy that did it or whatever it was, but it was really, really neat. The healing today was pretty intense, but I'm finding because of the light that's coming through and helping everyone activate, we're all going to activate at our own pace. So, the neat thing with the energy that's coming to Earth and really pushing humanity to release the dense energy and transform as we anchor more light is the same energy. We're all getting the same energy. But our higher self, again, is going to take what we can take, what we can handle. So we have that gradual shift um, as you're moving slowly through your transition. So again, when someone said, "Can we make it quicker?" Of course we can by asking. But your higher self is only going to do what it can do. Now, for those people who aren't awakened yet, they're getting the energy there, but they may actually be very irritated from it. So they're actually more irritated than usual. But that's because there's resistance. Like this energy is trying to wake them up and they don't want to, they're not ready yet. So then they get almost angrier. So we're almost seeing like a polarization of people who are feeling that love. A lot of people are on a really nice high. Although a lot of crazy things are happening, they're still feeling really good. But there's some people who are really not good. They're really angry all the time. They're yelling and screaming. It's because that energy's pushing them and they don't get it. So it's triggering them in different ways. So try not to hold judgment. Just stay out of their way and send them love from a different room if you can avoid them at all costs. But I know it's hard for those who are living with people like that. Okay, if anyone has any questions, I can answer. My daughter's asleep, so I'm not like I'm in a super rush. I'm just gonna have to carry her upstairs. Um, oh, okay. So the famous words for the water is you hold it in your right hand, and someone's asking what's the affirmation. So you hold the glass of water in your right hand. You put your left hand over it, and you say, "I honor the space in which you exist." I honor the space in which you exist. That's 8 magical words. And then just stay like that. And whether you're sensitive to energy or not, if you're sensitive, you'll feel the energy actually flowing through. What this does is it removes any negative energy from the water, replaces it with love and light, and when you drink, it's very healing. But if you're not sensitive to energy, doesn't mean you're not flowing the energy. So in that case, if you don't feel it, tap and doing it, then just give it about 45 seconds. And if you leave it for 45 seconds, it might happen before that, but if you're not sure, 45 seconds is usually a good number. And just allow it to do its thing. And you, when you drink it, you just say, may you go where I'm needed the most. So when I was drinking it, I felt it in my throat. So my throat chakra goes through a lot of healing because I think I was suppressed from talking in many lifetimes, including this one. So my throat goes through these waves. My throat chakra goes through waves of healing. It then heals, but then the next layer comes up. So when I drink that, usually it'll go to a part of the body that's bothering me at that time. It's going to go pretty well everywhere, but it kind of concentrates that. So we all have the power to connect. We all have the power to go within. You don't need to go to a healer to get the healing. I think I still go to different healers, but really the answers are within your heart. The reason that healers are needed is sometimes it's hard to be, how do you say it? Okay, to hold the space and be in the space at the same time. Meaning, if I want to release something big, I can release like small things for myself very easily. But if I need to really surrender and let something big go, I prefer going to a healer who's going to hold me in a very secure space so I can let my guard down to let it go. So that's when and then I'll reciprocate with someone else to do it back for them, let's say. But the answers are really within. Your connection to whoever you believe in, that infinite intelligence is there for you. So if you have something bubbling up and you want to let it go, you can do it yourself. Ask the light to help you. Say, listen, I'm feeling really sad. I'm remembering this trauma. I'm ready to release it. You're not going to release that full trauma in that one session when you're on, even with a healer, because traumas are big. We hold them in different areas in our field. So what happens is a percentage of that trauma will go away. But as you keep doing the work, as it bubbles up, you're getting that trauma to be smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually, you'll get to that root and it gets pulled away. So some traumas can go in one shot if you're ready to let it go, but sometimes it might be a percentage for every time it bubbles up, let it go. The next layer comes up, let it go. I'm just gonna see here. So there's a meteor shower tomorrow on August 13th. Okay, does that mean anything? I would say anything that's happening, geometric storms, meteor showers, it does cause a change in energy on Earth. I would say it's all positive energies, but like solar flares, we're being bombarded. That's why it can be so uncomfortable. We're being forced to purge out the darkness. Our spiritual DNA is being activated. Where some people are now having memories more of past lives and things like that. They're having dreams, very intense dreams. Even after these healings, you might be a very sound sleeper, or you might have crazy dreams, clearing of your subconscious. You might have like being up all night burping, that's another way of purging. That's still part of healing. So some people sleep peacefully after a healing. Some people don't. Some people wake up so thirsty, drink as much as you want because you're purging out toxins. We all heal differently. So yes, I would say I wish I had time to follow all that magical stuff that happens in the solar system. Usually people will send me bits and pieces. I just don't have the capacity to do it, but I love that stuff because I really feel very, very affected by the moon phases, solar flares, Mars retrogrades. I know there's something happening. Usually a client will tell me, well, there's a Mars retrograde. Okay, that makes sense because I'm feeling like this is what's going on. Dizzy. Oh, another thing I want to bring up is dizziness. I'll read the next question after. A lot of people are experiencing tremendous amounts of dizziness. That can be because of spiritual awakenings. I went through this phase many years ago where I was nauseated and dizzy for a very long time. What? There's no, there's some ways you can help relieve it. Baths are helpful to get rid of toxins with Epsom salt and baking soda. Grounding to the earth is helpful. You can kind of stand up or sit down with your feet flat. It doesn't matter where you are, outside, inside, but picture your feet growing roots into the earth's core. Then ask Mother Earth to send you healing energy or grounding healing energy. It'll come through your feet and anchor your heart down so you're grounded to the earth more. That can relieve dizziness. But just be careful the way you're walking or driving because the dizziness may not go away for some, but that's usually a sign of a big spiritual shift, a lot of light coming in. So, and try not to fight it. The more you fight it, the longer it lasts. Just surrender to the process. I may not understand the process. I usually say I understand I don't understand it completely because our minds can never fully understand what's happening, but I surrender to it. I say yes to the ascension process and I say yes to the light. And when we say those words, we are protected by the light so strongly. Next question. What do you think about the fact of people being really strong in their upper chakras and in the lower chakras? Do you believe it's our mission to balance out them and focus on naturally good? Um, okay. I believe when we heal, I've had someone call me and they wanted me to only work on their sacral chakra. That's it. I said, I don't want no other work but that. And I told them I can't do that. I'm sorry. Because when I do work, I set intentions, but the light's going to do whatever the person needs. It's not going to just say it's going to work here. It's going to do thousands of things are happening the way I feel it. So I couldn't just say I was going to focus on that. So anytime you do healings, you can ask for a balancing. And we're actually in every healing I'm doing, in the background, I'm asking for a lot of things. And one thing that comes naturally in all healings is balancing of the chakras, clearing of the chakras, so they're moving in the right way, all that stuff. So you're going to release what you can handle. But yes, some of us have blocks and chakras that need more work. And the lower chakras are more the earthly things like relationships and things. Now, I'm kind of a person who believes this earth is so beautiful. Why would I not want to enjoy every bit of it? So when I see people with nice cars or nice houses, I just think, wow, that's beautiful. They're enjoying this, what this beautiful life has to offer. Also, another thing is you don't want to be, and I'm not going to say how to be, just be yourself. But in my perspective, if my house and all my belongings were taken away, I would still be happy as long as my children were with me and my pet and my boyfriend, all that stuff. Is that if that was there, the core people in my life, I would be happy, and my friends and things like that, and my clients. But material things don't really phase me. So if I lost my watch, if I lost a diamond ring, if I lost, I don't have many diamond rings, so it should be I've lost one, didn't get another one. But if you lose something and you just say, oh, well, that's fine, it wasn't meant to be mine, then I think it's okay. Now, that being said, if my laptop went missing, I would be devastated because all my work's there. But mind you, I think everything's now on the cloud, so it probably wouldn't be so bad. But if you're hanging on to something, it just stops other things from coming in. If you're more I try to be easy and breezy. I breathe in and I breathe out energy. Positive energy, money, whatever it is. I breathe it in, I breathe it out. I breathe it in, I breathe it out. So I don't have an attachment to it. It doesn't define me. If someone has, like, if I had a nice car, it wouldn't make me better than if I don't. Or if I see someone, I don't judge them on their car. I wouldn't date someone because they had a nice car over a thing car. So that materialism that way doesn't bother me. But I do appreciate a nice car. I do appreciate nice things. And I think that, and I would love to travel this world again and see the beautiful places. So having abundance and enjoying life to me is not a big deal. I know there's some people that say you have to renounce it all, and that's okay if that's the way they want to live. But if you're abundant, then you're not stealing it away from anyone else. I had a friend once, and their partner, business partner, won a big sum of lottery, and this person was pissed off. And I thought that was so odd. I go, why wouldn't you be happy? And the person said, well, their winning took it away from me. I said, no, 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 that's not true. They are creating their own reality, their own abundance, their own beautiful world, whatever. They're creating their own reality. Their windfall did not affect you. That wasn't meant for you. You can have, there's so many other ways people can get other things. So when you see someone who has lots of abundance, just be happy for them because they're not taking it from you. There was an analogy where, okay, so everyone's lined up on an ocean, on the shore of an ocean, and they're allowed to bring any container to bring as much water that they need. So some people will come with a glass, some people will come with a dump truck, some people come with a pool, some people come with more. But regardless of how much someone takes, it doesn't stop your supply of water. So never think someone in abundance is stopping yours. So I say go with it. And if you feel like you have too much, in that, just ask your guides to say, hey, I'd like to be more balanced in the way I see things. You can always ask, they will hear you. I usually ask for wisdom and knowledge because I don't think I can ever get enough wisdom. Sometimes I feel like I don't know enough. So asking for wisdom and knowledge and to do what's best for you. But I'm okay with enjoying this beautiful earth. So go for it and have fun. I think we're meant to have fun. So. Okay, I think, thanks for clarifying the dizziness. See, a lot of people are having a lot of dizziness, eh? It's a very uncomfortable feeling. I hate it. It's vertigo. Then you go to the doctor and they do all these tests, and it's funny because everyone's coming back with, yeah, there's no reason for it. There's another thing that just popped into my mind. A lot of people go to the hospital, and I can't remember the symptoms of it, but some people get this thing called the Kundalini opening. So it's like our Kundalini is kind of at the perineum, and it's like this thing. It's a spiritual thing. Doctors don't see it, but some doctors know about it, and it's very hard. And sometimes you can have an accident and open it up, like fall off a bike or kind of. It's usually trauma to your genital area. So like if you hit a bike or something, you can have a spontaneous Kundalini opening. If you have a spontaneous Kundalini opening, and some kids have it, and it's not taken care of, you can actually get psychological issues. And the reason is it opens up a fire within your body. Now that fire needs to breathe. It's actually not a bad thing to have your Kundalini opened if it's done in the right way. If there's this thing called the Sushumna, and if your Sushumna is open and clear, then the Kundalini opening is beautiful because there's a fire that burns within you. And as you do more spiritual work, it gets stronger and higher and it actually burn all the negativity within you. But it needs to vent out through the top of your head. So some people will go to the hospital and because they're having all these weird symptoms. I've had a few clients come, and as I was working with them, I always ask them, like, did you have like a recent trauma? Like, yeah, something happened. I said, okay, I'm sensing it's a Kundalini opening. So what's happening is the fire's burning, but there's blocks or knots in the Sushumna, so the fire has nowhere to go. And that external, that internal energy is like they're burning up inside spiritually, and can cause a lot of issues physically and mentally. So usually we'll do work to take any knots out of the Sushumna, and then the fire starts to burn out, and then they feel a lot better relief. But I told them to go back to tell the doctor if they get the symptoms, tell the person that they have a Kundalini opening, because actually it's a kind of a more common problem than one would think. But the dizziness is very spiritual at this time. We are being activated, Everyone's being activated at their own pace. That dizziness is part of it. Just talk to your guides and say, I honor the changes, I am allowing them. And the less you fight it, the dizziness will kind of subside. But if you fight it, it hangs on longer, from what I remember. I went through it too. Okay, everyone, I'm going to end the call. I'm going to get my daughter to bed. Have a good night. There's no more questions. I hope I didn't miss anything. I'm taking a quick look. Some kind words here. Thank you, everyone. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's always a pleasure. So I will get this recording out. It usually takes a while because it goes through this process on YouTube. And I have a YouTube channel. It's not public. Like, it's not, I don't promote my videos. Maybe one day I will. I just send a kind of a, it's not a private link. It's just a link you're not going to find, I don't think. So I'll send you the link to it, but it takes this lengthy process to upload. They have to review it, make sure it's not weird. Well, my mind looks pretty weird, but as long as it's safe to have people watch it, then they accept it and put it on. So I'll send the link when it's done. One more thing. If you want that affirmation presentation about the vaccinations, whatever your stance on it, there's no right or wrong, but it kind of does all viewpoints. It can kind of help you feel a little bit better, perhaps. Then ask me for it and I will send it off. Okay, I'm going to get my daughter to bed, everyone. Have a wonderful night. It's always a pleasure. And we will see you in 1 week on next Tuesday at 8:30. And probably the tent will be up once again. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.